Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff Wilkerson, professor of physics at Luther College, bringing you the next in our series of what to look for in the night sky. We're talking about the week of February 19th, 2024 this time around. It's an obnoxious moon week. The moon starts 85% full, waxes to full, and then wanes away to 90 to 95% full by the end of the week. So it's basically a full moon all week long in terms of trying to observe. And so what we'll do is we'll track where the moon goes and see what stars it passes near, and we'll look at some binary stars, some double stars you might be able to observe. One of the things we like to do when the moon is bright is talk about the planets and track what the planets are doing, and we've had a great time doing that for the past year or so. But we're starting to get a little bit scarce with planets. We've still got Jupiter bright in the evening sky, but Saturn has sort of faded into the glow of sunset, and Mars and Venus is disappearing into the glow of sunrise, and Venus and Mars are right next to each other this week. So by next week, Mars will be higher in the sky, and we'll get to the point where maybe we can start to pull Mars out of that glow of the sun, but it's pretty tricky this week. And so we don't really have, we don't have the planets that we've had recently to talk about so much. And so anyway, the moon, on the evening of the 20th into the morning of the 21st, the moon is with the Gemini, Castor and Pollux. It slides right below Pollux, so that'll be a fine view, the two bright stars with the moon right below there. The next night, the night of the 21st into the morning of the 22nd, the moon is right in the heart of Cancer. Cancer is a faint constellation and hard to see. The moon will be sitting right on top, right above the Beehive cluster, M44. It's a bright open star cluster. You can see it with your naked eye sometimes, so it might be bright enough that you can actually use your binoculars and pick some of the stars out there, but I'm not counting on it. That's a big bright moon really close there, washing the sky out. But what you should be able to see is Zeta Cancri, is this star down here. So we've got this, Cancer looks sort of like this, and we look at that bottom right star, Zeta. And Zeta is just a really, really interesting multiple star system. And it's fifth magnitude. It's also going to be relatively hard to see with the moon nearby. And you might wait, see if you can find these stars, but you might wait a night to observe. Let the moon get further past or look a night earlier to see Zeta out here. But Zeta is two really close stars. You got a good telescope and you got a good observing night, you might be able to split those stars. We're talking about an arc second or so between those stars. So you might be able to pull them apart. So you've got a pair of stars there that are very close. You probably, for most people with most telescopes and most observing conditions, you're probably more likely to see them as an elongated blob or starting to partially separate right there and not see the actual space between them. So it's a nice tight pair, but there's a third star in the system that's about 6 arc seconds out and is a relatively easy pair. So that you can see with your telescope. So you'll see maybe an elongated blob of stars with another star out here. Now, one of the interesting things about the other star that's out here, if you track it for a while, it weaves up and down, and you can watch it orbit around this other pair, and it weaves up and down as it orbits around the other pair, so we know there's a dark companion that we don't see that it's in an orbital system with. So this is a really, there's 4 stars there. 3 of them we can see, 1 of them we cannot. And so we call that an astrometric binary. When we see a star weaving its position up and down, we know it's orbiting something. If we can't see what it's orbiting, we call that astrometric. And so we see that in this system. So it's kind of a fun system, and it's worth checking out this week in the big moon week. Maybe not the night the moon's right there, but maybe you can do that. So let's go on. By the 23rd into the 24th, where the moon has moved over into Leo, and we've got this backward question mark, the sickle shape of Leo. Regulus is the big bright star at the base, and the moon is close to Regulus. So the moon makes a nice pairing with Regulus that night. We look at Gamma Leonis Algebra quite a bit here on this video series. It's a beautiful double star, and it sits right here in the sickle shape, and it's worth checking out. So it's a second magnitude star. It should hold up pretty well to the moonlight right there. But again, if you want to wait a night or do it or look a night earlier when the moon isn't right there, that's probably not a bad option. So that's the 23rd into the 24th. We go ahead into the 25th into the 26th. and the moon has moved over into Virgo. Remember Virgo, we've got the triangle tail of Leo, and so Leo looks like that. I've got it compressed just a little bit right there. Virgo, the Y of Virgo sits down here. And that Spica is the bright star at the base of the Y of Virgo. And Zavijava is this star. I missed it when I turned it there earlier. So Zavijava, so you go up from the bright star Spica and move up to Porrima. Porrima we talk about all the time, and Zavijava too here. And so Porrima is a 2.7 magnitude star, another bright star that can hold up to the moon being nearby, and another good binary star. And right now, this is a binary star. I should look this up. This is a binary star that's got an orbital period of maybe 170 years. And it's been closed. It was closed down to where you couldn't separate the two stars 15 years ago. And now it's opening back up. And it's an elliptical orbit. So it's an elongated orbit like this. And so we're in close right now. And when you're in close, you move faster when you're in close in the orbit. And so you can see the separation actually growing right now. If you watch this, they'll give you a 10-year observing project. If you watch this binary star over the next 10 years, Zavijava, you will see that gap opening up. Why not? Why not do that? So say, yeah, I'm just going to go out a couple of times a year and check out this binary star, and I'm going to draw a sketch of it. And I'm going to see what it looks like. I'm using my telescope. You got to have your telescope to see this. And I'm going to make a sketch and see what these two stars look like relative to each other. And you're going to see that gap opening up in the next 10 or 15 years as you watch that. That's Porrima. I keep pointing at Zavijava. It's Porrima down here at the base. I always tell you, every time we do this, I always tell you that I think Virgo looks like a martini glass here. And the base, the stand, the bottom of the glass is Spica, the big bright star. And then up above there, Porrima, we're talking about this binary star, is at the base of the bowl of the glass. And then Zavijava is up the right side of the glass, and the moon sometimes passes right over, depending on where you are, passes right over the top of Zavijava. That's why we talk about it a lot, and it is really close to it there on this night of the 25th into the morning of the 26th. So we got a few good binary stars we can check out. Hopefully we'll hold up to the moonlight pretty well. And we got a big moon week, so the moon does dance along with some bright stars, gives us something to look at. So not a bad week by any stretch. Let's go out and check out some of these things. As always, everyone, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good week ahead.